I realized, oh crap, I need to scratch that away, but I just loaded my brush with a whole bunch of paint. But that's okay. Oh, what color is this? This is blue frost. It goes in the blue frost lot, and it just sits there all nice and neat until I'm ready for it. It's really gonna be fantastic. You and me, babe. You and me, babe. It's just nothing else like you. We're ready to go. It is finally time to test all of the underglazes on all of the clays. I'm so excited! 27 glazes, 6 different clays. Hey Siri, what's 27 times 6?
27 times 6 is 162.
162 different things to paint. I'm learning that all of these underglazes are so different. The flame red and the carmine especially, they don't like to go over curvatures or bumps. They want to wipe away the glaze more than they want to lay it on. And that's even after it's dried a little bit. After it's dried to the touch and after you think, oh, it's good for another coat. Nope. You wipe on more glaze over the top of it and it just wipes right off. I don't know what causes that. I feel sure it has to do with the amount of pigment. But they all apply differently. They all like different brushes. They all like, they're different on the different clay bodies. So it's kind of cool. I didn't think I would learn much from sitting here and painting. I'm not a painter. The other thing I'm learning is that I kind of feel like, you know, there's the whole paint 1 coat, paint 2 coats, paint 3 coats, blah, blah, blah. How many coats you need depends on the quality of your glaze. How thick is the glaze? How thin is the glaze? If there's one thing that I have learned from all of pottery, it's that you can't trust from when you open the bottle the first time to when you open the bottle the second or third or 50th time. The consistency of the glaze is going to be the same. It's just not. And so 1 coat today might be sufficient. But next time, you know, the glaze in the bottle is thickened up, you go to thin it, you thin it a little too much. And 1 coat is not good enough that time. And So I've always kind of felt like that whole counting your glaze coats is futile, for lack of a better term. So the way I am doing this is I am putting a coat on each piece until either I can tell that it's lifting more glaze than it's putting down, or I feel like I've got a pretty good covering. So I'm painting these the same way that I would paint a fairy house flower until I feel like, yeah, that's probably enough. Because that's when I stop. It doesn't matter if my intent is to get 3 coats on there or not. That's when I stop. And then I'm going back over that with another swath of paint, so that once that dries, I've got that, okay, I either need to go past the point where I feel like it's good enough, or I can stop. And so that consistency is in my eyes. I feel like that's good enough, and that's usually how it works. Woo. Breads and oranges. This is a brand new bottle of tan, Speedball tan, and it is like water compared to what their brand new bottles usually look like. Now, I've never used this particular glaze before, so maybe this one just needs to be a little bit thinner. And it didn't deadpan. When I stirred it, it wasn't deadpanned or anything like that. So I put it in this dish so that I could stir it up in between every time that I painted it. It's just dripping. And that's not typical of what I find with Speedball underglazes. If this particular glaze needs to be that much thinner in order to put on a smooth coat, then who's to say how many coats it's gonna take? This is one of my brand new bottles. Well, I've used it a couple of times. It has stiff peaks. It's really thick. I don't have any problems with that. No problem. It's really thick. I have no problems. But when I read the directions say shake well and stir prior to use. Fantastic. Thin with water to obtain desired consistency. Yeah, needs to be paintable. However you're going to paint it. Then it says, for opaque coverage, use 3 liberal coats on greenware or bisque. Well, how can you say that 3 coats will reach an opaque coverage if you've just told me to water it down to my desired consistency. 3 coats of this, I could apply texture to my pot. How many coats it's gonna take is not something that you can measure unless you take your specific gravity every time you get out your underglaze. I'm not likely to do that. Just saying. So I'm really trying to do this as close to the manner that it will be done when I'm actually putting glaze onto a pot. I got outside the lines here a little too far into the next color's space, so I'm having to scrape away some of this color, which is no problem. But I had already put paint on my brush here before I remembered, oh gosh, I gotta do this and I gotta do this now. And as I'm trying to prop my brush up on the lid of the can of Underglaze, I am realizing just how amazing these are gonna be once I get them done. Because if I'm in the middle of a fairy house and I have to do this to a fairy house, and I picked my color from my Underglaze test tiles, I realized, oh crap, I need to scratch that away, but I just loaded my brush with a whole bunch of paint. But that's okay. Oh, what color is this? This is Blue Frost. It goes in the Blue Frost lot, and it just sits there all nice and neat until I'm ready for it. It's really gonna be fantastic. Is finished. All of the colors are finished. Now I have to sgraffito into all 24/7 colors the names of all the 27 colors. For those of you who do fingernails all day long, every day, all of a sudden I have a whole new appreciation. Apply different. Do I have stuff on my thing? So I knew this would probably eventually happen. I just knocked the peach off the counter. And it got spilled all over everything. Oh!